Um, Also teach, so downtown is this sort of community service oriented, let's see if I can get that to run, investment, right? So I'm part of a civic engagement seminar that's down there. I also have been teaching yoga, Ashtanga. I became an Ashtanga teacher in New Zealand when I lived there. So I'm going to share my understanding, however humble it is, with you. And beyond the physical practice course that'll be starting on Tuesday, I also teach yoga just as part of the wellness program here. So if you ever want more of that Ashtanga, if it calls to you, you can find me. This semester, I'm going to try to do it downtown, so you can get into that cool building down there and get a taste of what it's like to be in the city here in Waterville at 5:30 on Wednesdays. So as part of my thoughts about civic engagement, I never really thought about it as civic engagement. I just like being in the community and doing stuff and talking to people and getting everything in the bowl and mixing it up. I also teach at a area charter high school. It's a performing arts high school, and I've taught more classes there in the past because I was so into it, but I've had to, I view it as civic engagement, really, because it doesn't actually pay anything, hardly, but the kids are amazing, and the reason I'm even going into this is I'm going to be dragging those students here into this class to interact with you. I have them interact with all the classes I teach because it's fun. And I have really small, only 3 students in the single class that I'm teaching there this semester. But they are whip smart, like some of the best kids. They could just be sitting here next to you. Really, really awesome kids in my anatomy and physiology class there at that high school. So you'll get to meet Alea, Trinity, and Callie at some point later in the semester. All right. Oh, I hate it when it's that view. Okay. So office hours. My office hours are by appointment because I'm a team player for the biology department, and space is at a premium. So I have just said I don't really need an office, and they have given all the spaces to other people that need them. So if you want me, the downside of that is you have to really seek me out by sending me an email. That being said, or say something to me or make an arrangement. That being said, I will open myself up to you guys as much as I possibly can. I try to be as available as anybody is, rather than just being stuck in an office waiting for nobody to show up. I will do everything I can to fit your schedule whenever that is, as long as it's at a reasonable hour. So yeah, if you need to talk to me, or if you just want to talk to me, please come. All right, into the schedule a little bit. So, has anybody logged into the Moodle? Does anybody not know what Moodle is? So most of you have gotten in there. Okay. I'll say this. One, I meant to make an extra slide. I woke up this morning and I thought of a slide that I wanted to make. Maybe I'll just draw it on the board. My goals with this class, ostensibly, it's to teach you the A and P of yoga, right? That's supposedly why we're here, and I'm certainly going to do that. But this is really a vehicle to teach this broader aim, which is you're going to all satisfy your science, your lab science classes. Getting it straight out of the way first thing. Smart, good on you, good thing. Because it kind of is a thorn in the side of some students as they get later on, and they're trying to take classes that are exciting to them, and they don't really want to take a science class as a senior. So good work. So science for non-majors. But that is, and this goal here is really the college's, objective. My deepest, my overarching objective here is to just help you be both get a better marker, how about that? To be a better student and a healthier human. That's what I'm here to just introduce you a little bit to what it's like at Colby. I haven't been here, I'm not a fossil, I haven't been here as long as a lot of the professors you may run into, but I've been here for 6 years, and that's long enough to see a lot of students go around, and I've been teaching for quite a bit longer than that in a lot of contexts, and I know what works, and I know some things that don't, and I'm here to help you learn how to be an excellent student. I'm here to, not just in the sciences, but across whatever discipline you decide you go into. But more broadly than that, I want you to be an effective, healthy, balanced human, where you're able to reach your potential, but not doing it in a way that is going to stress you out or spin you out or burn you out or put you at a place in your life where you don't want to be. Right? I want each and every one of you to think deeply about who you are, what you want, visualize your future, visualize your life as a whole, and help you to achieve that in a way that is going to be something you're proud of and happy you learned at an early age that will serve you well your whole life. So part of the A&P of yoga is going to be about your health and your well-being, both mentally and physically. Right? So did Annie say something like that to you? Did she talk about that a little bit or not? Well, if not, I'm glad I am. So that goal here, to be a better student, a healthier human, I think every instructor would, if you ask them, they'd say, yeah, of course. But I mean it. I really mean it. And I'm here to help you as much as I possibly can. All right. That being said, one of the ways I do that is, this doesn't mean that my class isn't rigorous. I have a lot of material. There's far more than to talk about than I possibly could talk about with you guys in one semester about the human body and how it relates to yoga. I mean, people have been doing yoga for 4,000, 5,000, 8,000 probably years. The earliest scripts from the Indus Valley are indecipherable, but we know there was some deep knowledge going back to the early beginnings of one of the three great civilizations on Earth. So we're talking about ancient technologies of the body here, and then combining that with the study of anatomy and physiology as we understand it in the Occidental or Western world. Also very, very old pursuit. So not going to be able to fit it all in. This is going to be a kind of a survey. But there is still a lot of material. And there is a rhythm to that, a reason to that. And the goal is to not overwhelm you. It's to give you a sort of open-ended amount so you can learn to really focus on your study skills, your study habits, your time management, managing your stress levels, being conscious of your stress, your health, your well-being. And let's see what you can do. Let's see what you can manage. I have all of the compassion in my heart. I'm not here to pummel you with grades. I'm not here to do anything but help you grow. So you guys with me on that? Okay, good. Here, and that was the prelude to me talking about what could look like an intimidating. I was just simply anticipating what looks like an intimidating schedule. There's a lot of stuff packed into this schedule, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I'm going to hold your hand the whole way. Okay. So today we're mostly just going to have a conversation. You'll find this in the syllabus. This schedule is in the syllabus on Moodle. I like to use Moodle. I try to be as organized as possible. Moodle. I have at least the first 2 or 3 weeks of class completely rolled out for you on Moodle right now. So we're going to talk about what the mind-body relationship is today. What is mindfulness? What is yoga? What is what is science? And then we're going to move in to the next meeting on Tuesday. We're actually going to be spending some time with this guy, Tim Stonecipher. So one of the other goals of the class for me is, as freshmen, you kind of scored here by getting me, because I am taking a lot of time to expose you to the kinds of resources that are available to you from the very beginning here at Colby. A lot of students don't get to find out about a lot of the resources open to them until later on. And I am trying to dip your toe in as many of the cool pools as we can. And this guy is definitely a doorway to a bunch of pretty rad stuff. So we're going to talk to him, and he is going to introduce you. We'll be working with Tim a number of times throughout the semester, mostly in the lab. But this little session with him, he's going to talk to you about a program called Spark. Does anybody know Spark? It's going to be new for me too. I haven't used Spark, so I'm excited to learn it along with you. But Spark is software. It's kind of curatorial software. It's basically software for making these artifacts, I guess is the way to say a digital artifact, where you can take video, audio, podcasting, text, blogging, photos, and a host of other media, and incorporate them all into a single object. And then that can get embedded eventually at the end of the semester. You're going to each be making a Spark project of some sort. It's really a journal is what it is. You're going to be doing what I call a mindfulness journal. And every week I want you to sort of be, marking a line on that stick, sort of building a little bit of this project. And by the end of the semester, you'll be able to take this thing that you've created about your experience in humankind, body, mind, and your experience with mindfulness and anatomy and physiology and yoga and whatever it is that, it's your journal, so you're going to have a lot of leeway. And then this will get embedded on the class website. So the website is non-indexed, so it's not actually open to the public unless that person has the link. So if you want your parents to see your journal, you can send them the link, and if you don't, they'll never know. So whatever it is, but it is something that everybody in the class will be sharing. So he'll come and tell you how to use Spark up in Lovejoy 404 and 406. So Lovejoy is this building right over there, kind of across from the Union, on the top floor up there, and it's in the media services suite. So there's like a podcasting booth, an audio booth for making super slick audio recordings. There's video editing stuff up there. He's going to talk about all that with you. So that'll be a good time to learn about that. And then we'll continue with, I'm going to go through, probably I have a PowerPoint, it's probably a little too long, about the history of anatomy and physiology, the history of yoga. I didn't actually put much meditation in there because I can't talk about it for too long. But I was excited. I was learning stuff myself when I was putting it together. So we'll go through a little bit of the history of that. And then the following week, that Tuesday, rather than have class, Annie and I, we want to take you on a retreat. Now, so let me explain this before I have hands go up and say, I have a conflict or something like that. The vision for this is that at the beginning of my class here at 11 o'clock, you will hop in a vehicle and we'll drive out to a hut in the main Hudson Trail system up on Flagstaff Lake. The main Hudson Trail system, if anybody ever been like backpacking in Europe or something like that, it's that similar kind of thing where you have these like lodges that are on a trail, on a beautiful trail. And it's right in the Bigelow Mountain Range on Flagstaff Lake near the head of the Dead River, which is super gorgeous, super gorgeous. Really, really beautiful place. So we're going to go there, and once we get up there, this woman, Kim Nashid, who teaches yoga at School Street, the yoga studio downtown, and she also takes retreats to Provence in France. That's how she spends her summer in Italy and France, doing these yoga/red wine retreats, which I would love to be able to afford them. They're very expensive, but you guys get the benefit of her here for free on this retreat. Her and this is a partner of hers, John Parsons, who does meditation. So I'll talk about what pranayama means in this lecture here. So you'll know what that, you'll have a sense of that. But she's going to do some pranayama yoga and he'll do some meditation. And then we'll spend the night in that hut, super cool, like eco-friendly composting toilets. Like it's really, they're cool, beautiful. You'll get a chance to do some meditation and kayaking if you want. You can kayak up to the Dead River, paddle around the lake, or just take a walk, zone out in nature. And then we'll have some closing activities. And we'll come back here by the end of Annie's class, which would be the next day. So this would cover my class, your physical practice, your somatic practice in the afternoon, and then her class. If anyone has a conflict, it would simply be a Wednesday class in the morning prior to Annie's class, if anybody has that. Yes, ma'am.
I also have an evening class Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Well, so here's the thing. So what I would suggest is you decide whether you are able to miss that class and you want to go on the retreat. If so, then you would approach that instructor and tell them that you have a one-time field trip that you would be potentially missing the class. And if they think that it's something that's not going to derail you, then you're fine. Otherwise, you'll have to make that decision yourself. If you don't come, you're not going to miss anything that's going to affect your grade. Okay? But we've worked. It's pretty hard to find a way to escape. We had wanted to do a retreat down to Kripalu in Massachusetts, which is the largest yoga and meditation center in the country. But the logistics of that were more than we could manage for the first year, so we'll probably do that next year. In lieu of it, we're going to Flagstaff. So if you can come, it certainly will be a beautiful experience for you, I hope. So give you a chance to see the Maine woods and the Flagstaff facility out there. And then we dive in to the rest of this. So there is a midterm exam right before the fall break. My midterm exams, I haven't written it yet. I don't know what it's going to be. I imagine it's going to be some short answer or essay type stuff, maybe some multiple choice. I like those if-at tests. Has anyone ever taken an if-at test? Immediate feedback assessment. They're like scratch-offs. It's like playing a lottery ticket. It's fun. You scratch off until you get the right answer. I do those. They're kind of fun. You'll see. It sounds weird, but they work. And then, let's see, here on the lab side, So I know it may, well, you guys are freshmen, so you don't know any better, but I'm having lab on the first week, which is a little out of the ordinary for the sciences, but you're never taking another lab science, so forget about it. Yeah, we're going to have lab today, and it's going to be short, super short. What we're going to do is, well, you see, you just come to lab, Area 205. We're going to go do some spelunking, and I'm going to show you definitely a part of campus that most, particularly non-science majors, never get to see. It's kind of fun and weird. And then I'll just introduce a little bit of the anatomical terminology, and then you'll get to have the rest of your afternoon off. The lab will start in earnest next week, where we'll really go through the skeleton and what have you. And then here is the physical practice or somatic practice classes. Did she introduce that to you? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'll reserve it for next Tuesday. Her and I will talk about it then. But essentially, we're trying to introduce you to the Gesundheit, the community of yogis and meditation people in the area and the region. So each week is going to be a different yogi. Some of them may not be your thing. Some of those people's styles will just like be sweet for you. So we'll see how that goes. That should be fun. Any questions about this? Yeah.
It's just a schedule question. R means Thursday?
Sorry. Yeah. R is Thursday.
Okay.
So it's like our lab, and then, but the purple is just our physical.
Yep. So this is, Thursday the 6th. We're gonna do whatever I have planned for us today, and then next Tuesday, the 11th, you're gonna go over to the Dunn Dance Studio. You guys know where Runnels is yet? You'll find it. Yeah. Oh, you were already there. Yeah. So we're gonna go up there, and I don't know. I'll have to meet with Annie, get on the same page as her, but we'll introduce ourselves and start talking about it. Unless otherwise instructed, and I'll keep you up to date, we're going to meet over at Area 205 for lab. And there will be some days where we go other places for lab just because it's not very good to do yoga up in that room. But you'll see it. Is there anything I want to point out here? I don't think so. This is the second half of the semester. We'll dig through it as needed. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then my grading scheme. Has anybody seen all this already? Did anybody download the you have, you looked at it. So the midterm will be about a 5th year grade, and then the final will be another 5th. Quizzes, I put that in there just because sometimes it seems like quizzes need to happen. I don't know. Sometimes students like them. It helps them. Quizzes are not there to hurt you. They're there to help you learn, right? And so some students like that, and sometimes it's needed to help just check in and see if however you're studying is working. See if whatever I'm doing is working. And so that's why I put that in there. I don't have a quiz schedule yet. I'm leaving it a little vague because I want to see how the semester evolves. And if I don't do any quizzes, which I probably will do a couple, but if I don't, that 10% will just lump into the exam somehow. So, anyways. Science literature reflection. So, let's go back. One of the other things I have here, you'll see on Tuesday the 25th, is this woman, Kara Kugelmeyer. She is the science librarian. She's pretty cool. She's definitely spicy when you meet her. She's one of the spicier people on campus. I love her. She's great. And she's going to come in and teach you about what a science paper is. What is a science? Because there's a very, you can read about it in the syllabus, but there's a very evolved way that science is written. And correspondingly a special way that it's read. And then she'll also talk to you, probably most importantly, about the kinds of tools that are out there for searching for the right paper. Sometimes when you're doing research, you need to be able to find the paper that just hits exactly the right spot. And you want to do it efficiently and effectively. She'll talk about that with you as well. Because I'm going to give you, I'll probably post the paper. I have it already. I can do it now, I suppose. But at some point, there's going to be a paper for you to look over and to read. And you'll write a little reflection on that paper. All right. So it's a peer-reviewed paper that I found that kind of dovetails with the work. And we'll do maybe 2 or 3 of those. I don't know throughout the semester. As I haven't found them all yet, but as I'm building the class here, I'll pick some out and we'll go through them and discuss them. And you'll put some reflections and you'll send them into Moodle. But at the end, I'm going to assign you a topic, and you are going to have to do a literature search yourself and find a paper that relates to that topic. That's all. Just to see if you can do that. See if you can search the literature and find a paper that's on a particular topic. And then give me the most cursory summary of it. Just tell me basically thumbs up, thumbs down, it's a good paper, it's a bad paper, whatever. Just hear your thoughts. So that'll be in this, and that's 20% of your grade, which is pretty good because that's not that much work. It's a pretty easy thing. I'm not really into doing a lot of grading. So, and then this personal health log, you'll see that. I don't have one printed right now. I'll give it to you in lab. Normally I'm like super paperless. I don't like dealing with a lot of paper, but I will give you a personal health log. And what that is essentially, it's ungraded. You don't, you're not getting a grade for anything that you put in there. You just get credit for doing it. That's all. And what I'm asking you to do is simply be mindful of the choices, the lifestyle choices that you're making. And I'll tell you what I think an ideal for me is. You'll have to figure out your own ideals, but in good faith, at least, I can help you think about that if you need. But, 8 hours sleep, regular nutritionally appropriate meals, and, particularly as, how many athletes are there here? Yeah, like particularly athletes, you got to make sure you're like eating enough, right? It's easy when you're busy to like just grab and go or something like that. Meals, man, that's how you feed the body, feed the soul, get those right meals, okay? Get the healthy goods. Sleep, food, and activity. So physical activity or just mindful activity. This could be being on a sports team. It could be going for a walk in the arboretum. It could be meditating. You can include your physical practice class because that's so a daily log of just to help you think about what your week is like, what your lifestyle looks like, all right? And then lastly, I'll ask you to rate your daily stress on a scale of 1 to 5, keeping your stress at about a 3 or below is what I think is a reasonable thing. Yeah, never getting into the red line is the goal. You want to keep the stress and anxiety down. All right. So that's the personal health log. Mindfulness journal project. This is the thing I already talked about with Tim Stone-Cipher. And that is a quarter of your grade. So you'll notice that like the work that there's not a lot of like daily tedious, like problem sets. I'm not giving you problem sets. I want the work that's associated with class to be fun. And I want it to be able to fit into your workload. I wasn't able to coordinate schedules with Annie very well. So I don't know what all her due dates are. So I've made mine very flexible because of that. Okay. So you can work around your other classes. I imagine some of you have languages or whatever. So anyways, this is lecture. That is 2/3 of your grade. 1/3 of it is the lab. We'll talk about lab in lab. So, questions on that? No. All right. So I had gotten one email about like textbooks. I am also really not into making students spend a ton of dough on a doorstop. Like non-science majors, why do you need to spend $150 on a textbook? It seems insane to me. So I am giving you digital copies of all the textbooks that you'll need on the Moodle. If you are one of those people that likes a hard copy, you can get hard copies of all of these books on Amazon, many of them used at like kind of reasonable prices for some of them. Some of them are cheap as chips. But if you don't want that, don't do it. Yeah, you have them all digitally. So these are kind of the ones that I'm going to be using for lecture that relate specifically to the anatomy and physiology of yoga and movement. None of them are perfect, which is why I have 3 of them. None of them are exactly what I want. So I've gone to 3 of them, and I'm going to draw from each of them. I'll try to indicate what places in the textbooks you can read from, but I only have readings for like the first couple weeks. You'll see a reading list on the Moodle. Otherwise, you can peruse them as needed. You're never going to be responsible for anything that I haven't talked about in class. So really the thing to do is make the most out of class, and I'll talk about strategies for that in a bit. These are a couple books just about yogic philosophy. Those other books don't have a lot of yogic philosophy in them. This is the book that I have been using. It's the one on my shelf. That's the one that I used way back when. This is not when I was studying Ashtanga or whatever, and even before. And it's an excellent book. It's worth the $2 if you want a hard copy of it. I couldn't get the PDF. I was not able to pirate a PDF of that for you guys. So instead, I got you this earlier kind of groovy 70s or maybe 60s. I don't know. It's 70s. It's like 77. Much earlier book by the same guy. And it's kind of like the rudiments of this. It doesn't go nearly as in-depth or as extensive or even as well written as the other, but at least there's a PDF of that. And so I haven't really flipped through it that much. But you can get that when you want. There's way more in there than I'm going to be covering. This is not a yoga class. It's an A&P class. And then here are some. So I practice Ashtanga, and I'll tell you what that means at some later point. But this is the Ashtanga yoga text that I used. These are, but I couldn't, again, get the PDF of that. So you can get that for a couple bucks on Amazon. If you want it, do not feel obligated, only if you really are feeling the Ashtanga. These are PDFs I've given you that are, this guy here, Patabi Joyce, he is the modern master of what is formerly known as Ashtanga now. I mean, Ashtanga is based on the writings of Patanjali back in the 5th century or whatever. But yeah.
Is this presentation going to be on Moodle so we can come back and enter the names?
So let me tell you this. This PowerPoint as a PDF is already on Moodle. And I didn't mention this, but I am currently recording this lecture. And I record all of my lectures and post videos of them to YouTube and then embed the links in Moodle for every lecture. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So all of that. Yeah. My goal. So I try to have the PowerPoints up before the classes so that if you want, you can look at them. So here are some stellar student tips 101, right? You only have so many hours in the week, and the hours that you have dedicated to this class, the ones that you absolutely have dedicated to this class, are the class hours. So coming up with ways to do things outside of class that make the time inside class the most effective, that's a smart cookie, right? And so a lot of students, they don't think like that. They'll come to class, they've never seen the material, and they're hearing it for the first time as it tumbles out of the instructor's mouth. They're like, write down, look up, write down, think about something, paraphrase that. Oh, wait, what was that? Oh, shoot, missed it. And like, if you have looked even just a cursory glance of the material ahead of time, like say there's some readings, or maybe you're lucky and you get a professor that's got their game together and the PowerPoints are up ahead of time. That's kind of rare, but it happens. Then you like make the bare bones of some notes. You bring those notes in, and then you can listen to the instructor. You can listen and assimilate that material right there and ask higher order questions. And that instructor is going to be stoked. They're going to be excited to answer good questions. Instead of just like getting that first pass, you're going to do like a deeper learning in the actual classroom, and it will minimize outside of class time. A lot of times, like you'll be in class and you hear something for the first time, like I don't know what the hell he just said, and then like I'll get it on the weekend, and then it takes like 6 hours on the weekend to get that thing. Whereas if you had spent an hour before class getting yourself ready for that class, then you get in class and your weekend is free. So preparation is key. Like whenever you're doing a study session, never skimp on the prep part. Like really, that like not just in this class, right? This is like life tips here. Be prepared. Look ahead. Be prepared, because it will put you in a different class of student than most kids, right? Be prepared. So yes, this is all on Moodle right now. Again, another thing along these lines, I could go on and on about study strategies. I like talking about that. But another thing, just as new students here, and this is how I'm approaching this class, because I don't have this class entirely built, right? I had a busy summer canoeing and hiking and moving into that new dorm and spending time with my children and prepping for this class. But I don't have the class entirely built. I'm building it as I go. And because the class is about mindfulness and I try to be holistic, I'm being mindful of my own energies and forgiving myself when I don't have everything completely together or the class as polished as I want it. That'll come with time. But I'm also viewing it in that I see you guys not just as student consumers of knowledge, right? Like, you maybe had scholarships or your parents ponied up some money, or maybe you've been saving, spending a lot of money. And so there's this tendency with time for students to think of themselves as like consumers. Like I'm sitting there and like getting something from the teacher, watching the teacher dance around, and they're kind of, absorbing it. That is not the way to make the most of college in general. See yourself as a peer. See yourself as a peer to the community of faculty, of staff, other students. See yourself as a peer. Now, I'm the sort of first peer amongst the peers in this room, because I am curating all this material for you. But I want to build the class together. I kind of am depending on it. I need it. I need that help. I want it, and it's going to make you better, right? It's hopefully going to make you more engaged, awesome people, and that's what I want. So I see yourself as a peer. You wish Colby had something, had some group or had something going. Make it happen. Do it. Get involved in that. Be a peer. Help create things in your world. Like it's choking me up thinking about it, because I really feel that. Like that's how to build a better society. So it starts with community right here and in this class. See yourself as a peer. Help me make this class amazing, because I want it to be. I'm trying for that. Okay. I want to listen to you guys talk. I've been talking so much. Let me get through the last of this here. This is, I'm going to make some photocopies and hand this out when I see you in the physical practice class, and it's actually me doing the Ashtanga. But this is the series that we follow in Ashtanga. Ashtanga is a set series. And so the PDF of this is on Moodle. I'm just showing you that as well. You can download that if you want. And then these texts are also on Moodle, as if you don't have more texts that enough text to look at. These are not, even though she's doing some sort of thing that kind of looks like yoga there, these are not yoga texts at all. They are straight up anatomy and physiology texts, like straight up. But they're excellent. A lot of the images I use are out of this textbook here. So this is like the physiology. It's like an actual open it and read it textbook. This book is an anatomy atlas. It'll give you the best anatomical pictures you can imagine in way more detail than you need. It's pretty much for medical school. So it's at a way higher level of anatomy than we're going to be doing. In fact, both of these are in medical school. I first taught anatomy in a cadaver lab at Notre Dame. So we didn't use Gilroy, we used Netter, but which is also good. But I think Gilroy's a little better. And but this finesse book is incredible. It's small. If you want to get the physical thing sometime, it's a couple bucks on Amazon. It's definitely worth it if you have a long-term interest in anatomy. There's so many other things I want to say, but maybe I'll just slide right into this, into the meditation. Okay, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, but it is my intention to try to start the beginning of each class with a brief meditation. We'll see how it goes. I haven't done a whole lot of transcendental meditation or vipassana or any of that before, and but you know, I'm going to take baby steps with you. I do meditation in my Ashtanga practice all the time, but that's what it is. So I'd like to try. And see how it goes. Okay. So I have a little timer here. I'm going to set it. And we'll sit and do a small meditation together. And I'll lead us through it. So let's begin by just finding yourself in a comfortable position. Put your feet on the ground and get your hips square, your back straight. Be kind of conscious of how your weight is resting on your spine. And let your eyes gently close. Just place your hands in your lap if you wish, or on the table, whatever's most comfortable to you. And we're not trying to control anything here. We're simply observing. We're observing. First thing that I want you to observe is just your breath. So as we sit here, notice your breath. Just let the breath come naturally. Breathing in through your nose. Feel the coolness of the air in your nostrils as you inhale. And then notice the speed of the air as it's coming in, as it's exhaling. Does the breath stop for a moment between the inhalation or exhalation? Is there a moment of stillness, or do you transition right from one to the other? Likewise, at the bottom of the breath, is there a moment of stillness? falling of your chest as the rib cage expands. Bring that air in. Where the active process of inhalation and the release of the exhalation. If other thoughts come into your mind, don't try to drive them out. Just observe them, but let them go. Let them pass through your mind. Observing, feeling in your diaphragm below the rib cage as you inhale. Furthermore, observing the abdomen, the feeling in your abdominal region, your tummy as you are taking an in-breath. How is that different than an exhalation? Your eyes. What did you guys experience there? Are there any meditators in the room? You want to share? Who's, yeah.
So it kind of felt like the air was being like in my brain. It was like a circle, or like it would go in. It was like okay, it would go like in, and then it would like stop for a second, and then go down again, stop for a second.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Now, was it a visualization you were having, or was it a
Yeah,
somatic experience?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Go ahead.
there's a breathing exercise that I learned about previously where anytime you have like a thought, you just say like thinking, like very gently to remind yourself sort of to let those thoughts go. And so I like tried to do that at first, and then I just sort of started to visualize like I watched Get Out last night, which is probably part of it, but there's like a part where he's falling, and it goes from like dark, and then in my mind it was like dark to like a white tile to like just different, sort of like cycling through different lights and darks.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say something. You don't need me to call on you to talk either. Please just talk.
realize how I feel like meditation is the easiest is just literally only thinking about in and out. And on the exhale, I always feel like my brain is like literally releasing tension. Like I almost feel something like that. So
It's like cleansing.
yeah. So
Mhm.
Really the best stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing the power of breath. It really is. Anyone else have anything to share?
I know I have a lot of tension in like my neck and my jaw, especially like I clench my jaw. So when I'm doing this kind of thing, I gotta like think about relaxing my body, like especially my upper body. So it's just like constantly like tensing up and then be like releasing and then working back to
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Has anybody done body scan before? Body scan meditations? Yeah. They're so in that schedule there's a woman uh, that I know named Sarah Shapuri. She's from she lives in Brooklyn, actually in Greenpoint, and she does meditation with a bunch of groups, but a lot of high school groups. And she's going to be coming up for a week with us. This summer I got to see her over the summer, and with a big group of us, she did a body scan. It was so fun. Uh, One woman had that same problem you were talking about. Had like TMJ, like a lot of tension in here from clenching, and she just like talked about she had never meditated, and it just like gave her this sense of release that she hadn't ever really experienced before. Yeah. Anybody have any other thoughts? Um, who has done yoga in here before? Oh, sort of. So everybody's had some small experience with it, either yoga or meditation. Yeah. What are your guys' hopes for the class?
That'll just have like a better understanding of how yoga affects your body and like muscles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's kind of like the kind of yoga I've had is either like only spiritual and like only about like your thought and stuff, but it would be interesting for me to see like how like physically it actually like is effective and just that integration.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe at the end of class, I'll try to end 5 minutes early to give you a chance to write down. Maybe it's probably be better for me anyways to have your name, help me remember your names, and just write down why it is that you are interested in the class and what you want from the class, what your hopes are for the class, because that'll help guide me. So let's do that. In the meantime, let me ask this question. What is mindfulness? So what I'm going to ask you to do is, I could just have some person tell me whatever, but I would like you to talk to one another. So the three of you, how about the three of you and the four of you? Why don't you guys, since we have these cool chairs with wheels on them, why don't you just go and talk amongst yourselves for a minute or two, just kind of like see what you think it means, and we'll write some of it on the board in a bit.
Like acknowledging parts of yourself and like so off to yourself.
To be present.
Center yourself and accepting all the thoughts you have instead of projecting them. Like as you were saying, recognizing yourself, let's say you are in a reflection
And
or in
external
process that you
emotions,
see
thinking about
how
other people, thinking about the environment you live
thoughts
in,
of going
and how you affect others, how you affect your environment, and how
So
they
mindfulness is like about
emotionally.
and that's like easy to get into. You can fall into that mindfulness kind of
you're on your phone for an hour and
mean, having mindfulness, like, it's just kind of like better. You can like focus on like what you have to do, and even like being aware that you're spending time, like maybe not thinking maybe, but like being aware of your like what you're doing, what you want to do. Yeah, definitely.
You're right. It being the opposite of mindlessness. I've never heard that before. I like that.
There was some like
Yeah, like
animals with like a in the slaughter, and I thought that was really cool. I was over in Erie for a month. Yeah, but I just thought that just thought was Erie.
Oh yeah.
It's on my way down to
Yeah, I don't have any time to
Be
sit
there.
and think.
Yes.
Like it's all about. And like I get it.
Okay. Well, why don't you guys tell me some of your ideas, and I'll write them on the board here, or maybe you can come up and do it yourselves. Or, well, just tell me what were some things that were said in each of your groups.
Like knowing what's going on inside your body and outside your body.
Okay, so knowing in slash out of body.
Paying attention to different parts of like your body that you don't necessarily want to pay attention to, and like being in tune with how you are feeling.
Yeah, right. Body and feelings. My handwriting on the board is so bad. You guys had some cool things that I was listening to.
Just like acknowledging your own thoughts and like being kind of present with yourself and not just reacting to your environment.
Present to self. And what's the last thing you said?
And like not just reacting to your environment.
Not reacting.
I think it's also like being aware and being present in the moment, not just to yourself. And so you're in tune to everything around you.
In tune to surroundings. Okay. Yeah. What did I have written up here? Mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. So I think you guys hit all of those notes there. So now let's do this one. Whew. Okay, you got wheels. Let's mix it up a little bit. How do we do that? No, let's just keep it the same group. Yeah, talk about what is yoga. What is yoga?
Increase mindfulness. Yeah, so meditative movement series.
Practice routine to think through kind of mind and change.
It's just really having info contact with like my phone. And
Just saying that yoga is like mind, body, and soul. So it's like a series of movements meant to increase mindfulness.
so like tension release. So like for me, it's just like really looking down at my body and
Meditative
like
practice.
holding tension, like what that says
Yeah,
about
I think for a lot of people it has like a
Yeah.
Obviously, all of those I do is based on that.
Part-time yoga, part-time ER doctor, but she has like the most soothing voice, and she's like, oh, by the way, forget her skeleton. This is the body part we're working on right now. His name is Victoria. Yeah, but that's why I like it, because it's like tired, like parts of his body that look tired. Like, you can stretch when you are like aware that your lungs are full, you feel that oxygen everywhere. It's definitely just like a healing process. Like even after working with it, you're like, oh, I gotta grow this into body. Yeah, or like calories. Yeah. And it like shows you like where you're storing your stress and anxiety.
All right. Yoga. What is yoga? I heard so many good things. Just shout them out to me, please.
It's a practice that enhances mindfulness and meditation.
Okay. What else?
Connects mind and body. Puts them in your spine.
Connects mind and body. That's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. It is in the course, the cluster title.
True.
Yeah. What else? Give me some more stuff.
It like brings attention to parts of your body that you don't give attention.
All right. What else? I heard some good stuff over there in that group. You guys tell me some stuff.
I said it was a physical means to evoke both mental and spiritual aspect.
Means to a mental and spiritual. Which now? What word did you use?
I guess aspect of oneself.
Okay. Is there any more to it than that, or have we gotten it all?
It's a series of movements.
Okay. All right. What else? Anything else? Is it
Breath with movement. Breath movement.
breath of movement? Anything else? Is this everything when you think of yoga? Are we hitting it all? I heard someone use the word peace, peacefulness. Anna or Anna?
Anna.
Anna, yeah.
Yeah, it can be a tool, like a therapeutical tool, to find inner peace, or actually for therapy for the body.
All right. Yeah. I particularly like, all of these I think are really getting at parts of yoga. And we're going to spend a whole lecture at least talking about what yoga is. But I like connects mind and body because that's actually what the word yoga means. It means to yoke or to the union of something. So I have written here a spiritual and ascetic discipline of Hindu origin. It does have a spiritual origin that has both mental and physical aspects, a part of which, including the breath control or pranayama, and along with simple meditation and various bodily postures, is practice for health, relaxation. Even that definition falls short, though, of capturing it all. And we'll try to do some more exploration. So yeah, again, it means literally to yoke or to join together. And the question is then what? Well, it can be the mind and the body. In a higher sense, it is joining the Atman and the Brahman. Okay, so what are these terms? These are certainly Hindu terms. Atman is the immortal and eternal essence that is in each individual. This is as seen through the lens of Hindu spirituality from which yoga came. So it's the eternal essence of each individual living creature, not just you, but everything that is alive. All right, and we call the language that we have that is sort of analogous is sort of the soul or the primary living energy. You're joining that which is in you with the ocean of that, the Brahman. This is the eternal essence of the universe itself and the ultimate divine reality. It's the life force of all that has been, is, and will be throughout eternity in the cosmos, the Brahman. It is not a single being like we in the West would think of it as the word God. That's not quite the meaning of Brahman. It's the primal ground of or reality of all being and existence. I think a better analogy than the word God would be like the Force or something from Star Trek or Star Wars, without being able to levitate and stuff. You know, it's just this idea of the life energy that pervades all. So yeah, yoga is joining one with the other. I think a good analogy is like the drop of water is the Atman, and when it falls into the ocean, it's joining the Brahman. And yoga is that process of union of those. Okay, so let's take out a piece of paper if you have one, and for the last few moments here, just write your name down and tell me something about yourselves. Tell me what you hope for from the class, or if you have fears about starting a new school or whatever. Tell me whatever you think I need to know. Tell me something. I'm happy to hear about what you want from the class, but other things too. You just tell me a little bit.